Why do you think it was that Dominic Cummings chose to be quite so withering?
I have no idea. I mean, I worked directly with the Prime Minister from the start of this. And, of course, I worked with his aides and his team as well. And I have no idea.
Did you know that he wanted the Prime Minister to fire you?
Yes, because he briefed the newspapers at the time.
Right.
Or somebody briefed the newspapers. I now have a better idea of who it was. Well, I think the best thing to say about this, and this will be corroborated by lots of people in government, the best thing to say is that government has operated better over the past 6 months.
Did you ever say anything to the Prime Minister that you knew not to be true?
No.
Thank you.
Throughout this, I have got out of bed every morning with the view and the attitude that my job is to do everything I could to protect lives and to get this country out of the pandemic. And I've approached that with a mission-driven determination to make it happen. And I've tried to do that with an approach of honesty and integrity and critically answering questions both in public and in private to the best of my ability.
Did you ever say or brief that the shortages, such as they were the fault of Simon Stevens, the fault of the Chancellor of the Exchequer? It's not my fault. They blocked approvals. That's what Mr Cummings told the committee. Is that true?
No, that is not a fair recollection of the situation. We had to remove a piece of bureaucracy that was in the way that put a limit on the price that could be paid for PPE, and we took a policy decision that we should pay at the top of the market. That did require the Treasury to make that change. The Chancellor was incredibly helpful in driving that through, and we managed to get to this position where, despite local challenges, and I don't deny at all there were challenges in individual areas, there was never a national shortage of PPE because of the action that we took. There was a global scientific consensus based on decades of expert work on coronaviruses that coronaviruses do not transmit from people who don't have symptoms. And this is wrong. I heard evidence from China that there was asymptomatic transmission in January. I was told that it was likely a mistranslation. And after that, we did not get the evidence from China which could have proved it. So I was in a situation of not having hard evidence that a global scientific consensus of decades was wrong, but having an instinct that it was. And I bitterly regret that I didn't overrule that scientific advice at the start and say we should proceed on the basis that there is asymptomatic transmission until we know that there isn't, rather than the other way around. Sadly, I expect us to have a pathogen similar to this to deal with in less than 100 years, and we need to be better prepared. One of the things that can make the world better prepared is better data. So, the data, and I've complained many times in this session, explained many times that everything was based on imperfect information, and that makes decisions much more difficult. But we have far better data now than we did, and we go through it each day and look at the trends.